Hey everyone, Tendra here. For the month of November, we have 27 new items, so let's take a look and see what's in stock. We're going to open up with the monk items. First up, we have the Possessed Watcher's Guide. With this, you're going to get a head, shoulders, and waist, and it's going to run you 450 tenders. I think this is a pretty neat looking set, and it kind of makes you look like a samurai. Along with that, you can get the Possessed Watcher's Arsenal. With this, you're going to get a fist weapon, a staff, and a second staff. This will run you 500 tenders. I really like the keg staff. The little keg on the end of it is kind of neat, and they got a little dragon up there too. The fist weapon, the fan, is really kind of unique too. I'm not sure if I've ever seen something like that in game, but I do like it. Here we have the Warlock items. First up is the Jewel of the Alluring Call. This is a 3-piece set, which consists of your head, your shoulders, and your waist, and it's going to run you 450 tenders. And it kind of has everything I'd expect to see from a Warlock set: the shrouded face, the little wings on the shoulders, and the horns. And we'll follow that up with the instruments of the Alluring Call. And this is the 3-piece weapon set. You're going to get a staff, an offhand, and a dagger, and it'll cost you 500 tenders. And again, these are just like what I would expect for a warlock: a skull and fell infused magic. Moving on, we have the warrior armor set. This is the Savage Champion trophies, and again, you're going to get a head, shoulder, and a waist with these, and it'll run you 450 tenders. I do main a warrior, but I don't think I'll pick these up. They're just not to my taste. But to go with them, we'll have the Savage Champion's Aggression. With this, you'll get a two-handed sword, a shield, and a one-handed sword, and it'll run you 500 tenders. I do like the two-handed sword, and I do like the shield. The one-handed sword is just okay. I'll hold off on these. Maybe I'll freeze them and come back to them later. Next up, we have the Swift Zephyr. This is going to run you 550 tenders. This is a great mount. I had this way back when they first released it, and I used to use it all the time. It was one of my favorites for a long time, but with so many mounts in the game, I rotate them up a lot now. Pushing on, we have the Spectral Gryphon. This is an alliance-only mount, and it'll run you 650 tenders. This is another translucent mount, and I'm not a big fan of them, but I am a mount collector, so this one's probably near the top of my list for this month. And now we have another mount, the Spectral Windrider. This is a horde-only mount, and it's going to cost you 650 tenders again. It's another translucent mount, and I normally wouldn't go after this, but I am a mount collector, so I'll probably pick this one up too. Next, we have a little red mummy, Drazka'zet the Wrathful. He'll cost you 650 tenders. I do like him, but the price I think is a little too high, so I'm going to hold off on this guy for now. If he comes around later, and there's not a lot of items that month, maybe I'll buy him then. Here we have the Foam Toy Rack. This is 425 trader tenders, and at one point it was a trading card game reward. I'm not sure the tender price for this is very good, so I think I'll hold off on this one too. Next up, we have a pull arm. It's the Krokul Guisarme. This is only 50 tenders, and I always say these little items like this make great filler items. This one I don't find too exciting though. Here we have a one-handed sword, the Razor Edge Kukri. It's only 50 tenders, and again, that's a great filler item. And this one I really do like, so this may be something I grab this month. Here we have a belt. It's the Tidecaller Cinch. This will cost you 50 tenders also, which isn't too bad of a deal. And this is a recolor of the Battlebound girdle from Legion. It's not a bad looking item, so if you're lacking and you're a mail wearer, this may be something you want to grab. Now we have a two-handed mace. It's the Acolyte's Etched Warhammer. It's only 75 tenders, so it's really good as a filler item, and it is a new model, and I really like the etching on the head for this one. I don't think it's something I'll buy, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be overspending my tenders this month anyways. Our next item is one we've had on the trading post before. It's the Gnomish Liquid Transfer Apparatus. It's only 75 tenders, so again, it will make a great filler item if you're just looking to waste a few tender. Now we have our normal items that come up once a month. First up is the Ensemble Wanderer's Sepia's Trappings. This is 100 tenders, the same price it is every month, and these are always great filler items. I've picked a couple of these up through the months, and I always like them. And here we have the Ensemble, the Vagabond Sepia threads. This is 100 tenders also, and with this one you'll get the hood instead of the scarf. Again, these make great little filler items, and I would think by now there isn't one person in game who hasn't bought one of these. Now we have a shield, and it's the Maw of Rage. This is a recolor of the High Maw shield, the Maw of Souls, and the price is only 150 tenders, so it's not that bad. I do like the way the lava drips out of the mouth. I think that looks pretty sharp, and if I was tanking these days I'd probably go after this. Now we have a one-handed mace, the Mechanized Skullcrusher. This is a recolor of the Iron Skullcrusher, and this has been recolored a couple times now. Both heads on this rotate, so it looks pretty good, and at a price of only 150 tenders, it's not a bad buy. Now we're going to gold and staff. It's the Sinister Fel Staff. This was up on the trading post just a couple months back. If you missed it then, it's your opportunity to grab it now. The price is only 175 tenders, and it is a pretty neat looking staff. Here we have a hat. It's the luxurious Niffen Hat. This is a recolor of Ponzo's Scheming Topper, which you can buy down in Zeralat Caverns. The price of this is only 200 tenders, so it's not too terrible. I do have Ponzo's Scheming Topper, and I've never used it, so I'm thinking this is going to be a hard pass for me. Next up we have the loyal Blademaster's Greatsword. This is a recolor of the triumphant Blademaster's Greatsword, and it's only 225 tenders. I bought a couple of these as they come along, but I'm not sure I'll grab this one this month. Here we have another one-handed sword. It's the Fang of the Mountain. This is a recolor from Blackrock Foundry called the Fang of the Earth. If you decide to pick this up, it's going to run you 400 tenders. For me, the price is a bit steep, so this is something I will pass on. Here we have another repeated item. It's a shield this time. It's the Ruby Felfire Bulwark. This was up on the trading post just a bit back, but for 400 trader tenders, I think I'm going to pass on it. Now we have a bow. It's the Longbow of the Twisted Grove. This is a brand new model, and it's going to run you 500 tenders if you go for it. I've always looked at bows kind of weird. They're either hit or miss, and most of the time they're a miss, and this one has too much going on to be a hit. And now we have Medivh's Staff. This came in a set on the store just a bit back. You could have bought it all at once, and I'm pretty sure that's what I did because I have this already. But this is the Standard of the Guardian. The price on this is pretty hefty, 650 tenders, but it does look pretty good. If you missed it when it was on the store, you do have an option to buy it now, but just watch your tenders. You don't want to run too low. So if you complete everything this month, you'll get an arsenal, a cosmic weapon cache. The first item you'll get is Nathoris, Dagger of the Grand Design. The next item you'll get is a one-handed sword, Tisavir, Sword of the Grand Design. And finally, you'll get a staff, Void Song, Staff of the Harbinger. I personally prefer if they put mounts or full transmogs up for the reward. These just aren't that exciting to me, but I did manage to get them, and it only took about an hour and a half in-game to fill up my Traveler's points. I'm just not sure if I'll use any of them. So now that we're done looking at everything, I'm going to go over and buy my items. But first I'm going to hit the treasure chest, get my reward, and then I'm going to talk to the little trading post people. And I already know what I want to buy. I want to buy the Gryphon since I never had one. And the Spectral Windrunner, since I never had that. I've already have the Zhevra, so I don't need to buy that again. But if we go down to the bottom, I kinda like this sword that they have, so I think I'll grab that too. And that's gonna leave me with 1900 tenders, so I'll have them for next month. And that doesn't seem too bad. I like to hang on to a little in case something big hits like this month where we had 3 mounts come up. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. You can click on subscribe. Thanks for coming by and watching it. I'm going to send a hi out to my best friend, and you all take care.